wasn't on. So, episode 1 of the vlog. Today is kind of exciting. We are going to be doing a little bit of 360 shooting for the engineering college. And I think I'm going to talk a little bit about bitrate. Really important that you wear your hard hat in here because it's a room with a strong floor. And you might say, well, what is a strong floor? Well, it's something, I guess, that these engineering students, when they're testing different materials, they strap onto, and they can test the tension and the strength. And when the student said strong floor, I didn't really realize that she was talking about a strong floor. I just thought she was just saying it's strong because it was made of concrete. But then she mentioned the strong wall. And let me show you the strong wall. Taylor was able to talk to the guys that run this place, and we attached the 360 camera to the crane. Seemed to have gone really well, but I can't make phone calls in here. Who would have thought in a building made entirely of concrete, used for concrete research? So, how'd it go?
Well, we just put a 360-degree camera on a 10-ton crane, so that was kind of cool.
It was pretty dope. No, I had a good time in there. I don't have ADD or anything, but I love touching everything. So I always wanted to play with all the machinery in there, but I feel like that's a big no-no, so I did not.
We did get to wear hard hats. That was cool.
That's always cool.
I didn't wear one. I'm more of a normal hat kind of guy.
He also tried to stay out of the room.
That is true. I don't know. It was all around good time. 10 out of 10. Ladies did a great job.
Great time.
Doing their thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll link in the description the final video once it's actually done.
Yeah, because that's
click here.
Because that's going to be very interesting, guys. If you want to know more about the Tennessee College of Engineering, you better click down below. You won't regret it.
Okay, so I mentioned I want to talk about bitrate. Well, I was teaching my class last night, and I had students that exported a 4-minute video that was 6.5 gigabytes. Bitrate was way off. A lot of people think it's just about shooting 1080, shooting 4K. It's not. I can shoot 4K on my DJI Osmo, and computer processes it relatively well. But if I shoot 4K on a Canon 5D Mark IV, Well, a computer can barely play it, and it probably won't even be able to be written to the memory card that I'm using if it's the same memory card I'm using for that Osmo. So I don't have a Canon 5D Mark IV on me right now, but I'm going to show you a couple examples of just bitrate. It's the simplest way to make a file small enough to send to friends over email or any just simple quick upload. All right, let's get into this, do some screen sharing. Okay. Oh, and don't mind all this action. We're redoing our basement. I'm sure you'll see that process as it goes along. All right, cool. So when you talk about bit rate or data rate, it doesn't, again, like I said, it doesn't matter what the resolution of your video is. It kind of just matters more of how many bits per second are getting pushed out at the screen. So I'm going to show you two quick sample videos. This one was shot on an 80D at 1080. So 1920 by 1080p, 30 frames a second. And it's a 273 megabyte file. The data rate is 30 megabits per second. So that means that every second of this video, 30 megabits of data are on screen. You can break that down even further to how many frames are in a second. 30 frames in a second, so each frame is roughly 1 megabit. Leave a comment below if you want me to go into more detail on that, and I can break that into a whole different video. So I'm going to show another video here, which is from my iPhone 7 Plus, shot 4K on an iPhone, which generally looks pretty good. But we pull up the inspector here, and it's 15 frames per second, which is significantly less. 12 megabits per second, so less than half of what the 1080 80D clip was, but significantly higher resolution. Okay, so what we're going to do is pull these into media encoder, and in media encoder we're gonna half the bit rate on them. Take a look at the file sizes. So when you pull something into a media encoder, if you haven't before, or if you're exporting something on Premiere, generally match source high bit rate is going to be the default option. You can drop into that and just change that to whatever you think it should be. Again, the iPhone, 97 megabytes for a 1 minute 4K video, not too bad. What we're going to do is scroll down in the video tab here. Right now it's saying target bit rate 10 megabits. I'm going to take that down to 5. I'm just going to half that. So it takes it to a 50 megabyte file. I'm going to hit OK. Actually, I'm going to save it. 5 megabits per second. Hit OK. Hit this again. Just change this. I'm gonna even more than half this, right? So this is an 88 megabyte. Well, sorry, this is a 273 megabyte 1080p clip. That's 1 minute long. I'm going to make it 2 megabits per second. It's going to make it a 19 megabyte file, so we can kind of see what the quality looks like. So change that to 2 megabits per second. Hit OK, hit save, hit OK. And so before I hit go, I'm going to stop this screen recording and then we'll start it back up. Okay, we're done. Now I'm going to open up Finder. We see the original file was 247 megabytes. That was this iPhone video, right? 4K resolution at 12 megabits per second. Well, you should be able to see now this one is still at 4K resolution, and if I was doing this regularly just to like dump down the quality of something, to email it a little easier, you got to understand, I grew up with floppy disk drives, 1.4 megabytes a drive. When I got my first 8 gigabyte thumb drive, that was huge. When I got my first computer, it had a 1 gigabyte hard drive. And I remember saying, I will never need a hard drive with more storage than this. boy, was I wrong. So if you just look here side by side, I'll pull them up full screen too. They look a little different. You can definitely see artifacting in this one, and the one that I compressed, but it's still trying to push like a 1080 file with significantly less bitrate. And you can see it actually evened it out at 5 megabits right there. Okay, now we're going to look at the 80D clip. Both clips side by side. Again, in the compression, you can definitely see artifacting, but it's not bad. It's definitely not final video quality, but it's something that works, passes if you're maybe working with a client. So do your homework and just kind of figure out what works best for you. I hope you all have enjoyed my first vlog. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. I think that's what you do. And let me know some tips. What can I do to improve on? What I'm trying to do is have a little bit of value on each episode, or else I don't really understand why you'd be interested in my day-to-day. But yeah, let me know. Thank you guys for watching.